Repent or give up the ghost. The end is near getting close. Fear God and fear him the most. You don't want smoke with the Lord of hosts. Knock, knock. Who's there? When bombs drop, who cares? Time's up. The nuke's here. Who you looking for? Whoever's still here. Fear in the Most High is wisdom. When the Almighty shoots, he ain't missing. Second Ezra 16 and 13. He killing all the unrepentant. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. See, I told you that Christ will return like a thief in the night. You ain't think we was right when we told you repent. Keep his laws and endure, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. In the power of his might. Repent and give up the ghost. 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 Whether they hear or forbear, I cry a lot and don't spare. And I don't trim my waist when I cut them up. I tell you the truth cause I care. Repent, the kingdom's at hand. You better do what he commands. The most I got is in plan, and neither is the son of man. Eyes fire red, no cyclops. But he gon' X me and no cyclops. Eyes fire red, no eye drops. He made me a watchman, no eye watch. It's high time to wake out of sleep. So we sound the alarm in the street. We lift up our voice like a trumpet, standing up against iniquity. Luke 13:3 and verse 5. Repent or perish and die. Either choose living water or fire. The truth burning all of these lies. Forever in torments and smoke. Thus said the Lord God of hosts. Revelation 14 and 11. Fear God and fear him the most. Repent and give up the ghost. 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 Repent and give up the ghost.
I tell my people to repent and die. If they do nothing, they give up the ghost. Babylon burning, you smell all the smoke. Babylon burning, you smell all the smoke. This is that people ignore what they hear. Don't trust in God and his law, they don't fear. They led away by the itching of ears. They don't believe the end is drawing near. Christ is coming like a thief in the night. If you do not change, then you pay the price. We've been given time to get our act right. But you got no faith, you gon' roll that dice.
Repent and give up the ghost. 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 Repent and give up the ghost.
Repent it down, talking now or never. Put your feelings to the side for the better. Repent it down from your own pleasure. The kingdom is right beyond measure. How can you claim that you follow with God, but you cannot discern who he made to be prophets? How can you stay in your sins when death is the wages of sin, so don't get the deposit? Unlike these nations, our whole obligation to build a foundation where lost. My people seeking for salvation, but self-deprivation is causing my nation to fall. Who gonna rise for the occasion? Who gonna ride for the nation? Who gonna put on the whole armor of God so when we together it's like an nation? In conversation, who can persuade them? If they got ears, let them hear that obey them. You in the spirit, you can obtain it, but all the others, Messiah gon' slay them. That's why you see all the prophets here playing loud. 144 rocking the crowd. Pray on the day when the Lord come around. You keeping these laws cause he's shutting it down.
Repent and give up the ghost. 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 Repent and give up the ghost.
All right, let's go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start here. For some reason, I cannot see any comments, so it is what it is. It's acting crazy. I do not like Facebook streaming live. All right. Okay. So we are going to start out, and we're going to read Deuteronomy 7. We're going to read 7 through 10 today. Um, as I always say, my disclaimer, sisters, pay attention. Keep your thoughts in your own head. You are in a classroom, aka church. It's just streaming online. So listen. According to 1 Corinthians 14:33 or 40. 1 Corinthians 14:40. And if you got questions, just write them to us on the IUIC classroom page, and we captains, we go through there a few times during the week, and we will answer your questions if we are able to. All right, so let's get into it. I waited 5 minutes for more people to log on. We got some good chapters here in Deuteronomy 7 through 10. What I'll do is precept as we go. If you are able to sit down and follow along in your Bible, you can write the precepts down as you go. All right. So here we go. Deuteronomy chapter 7. So let me see. I guess this is odd. There is no it is no what's name. So I guess I just grab myself here. Since I can't see anybody. Deuteronomy 7 and verse 1. That's odd. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. It says here, when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations. Let me see. Oh, crap. Hold on, y'all. Okay, in case somebody write me. Okay, all right. The land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. Those are the Hamites. Okay, those are Hamitic nations. Verse 2. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. So the Lord definitely, since the days of old, has not been about for God so loved the world. Throw that in the trash. You read, that's why you read the Old, they don't want you to read the Old Testament, because you will pick up, your mind will begin to correct itself on the miseducation that we have received through Christianity. It will correct itself when you read things like verse 2. Let's read it again. It says, and when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. All right. Moving on here. Verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Let's get a precept for verse 3. Let's go to the book of Tobit. Let's see what God says about interracial marriage. Tobit chapter 4, and let's read verse 12. Tobit 4, verse 12 and 13. It says here, that's supposed to be 13. 13. There we go. It says here, beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers. That would be us today, would consist of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Those make up the 12 tribes. You can pick between any tribe as long as it's in the 12 tribes of Israel. It says, and take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe. For we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. Now therefore, my son, this is if you go outside of your own nation, God says, love thy brethren and despise not in thy heart thy brethren. When you go outside of your nation to choose a man or a woman as a spouse, God says that you despise, you hate your people in your heart. So you cannot be married to an Edomite, a Moabite, which are white people. You can't be married to Asian people. You can't be married to East Indians, and you say you are for your people. You are truly not for your people, because the greatest commitment that you could have made, which is whom you married, you went outside of your nation to do it. So you are not for your people or committed to your people as much as you say you are. The greatest choice that one of us will make in this life is who we choose to live with for the rest of our life. If you really loved your people, you would choose to be with somebody of your own people. All right. Going back to it, it says here, now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, in not taking a wife of them, vice versa for women, in not taking a husband of them. For in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay and great want. For lewdness is the mother of famine. That's thus saith the Lord when you go outside of your race to find a spouse to spend the rest of your life with. Because look at this. This is what Tobit said about that marriage. Going back to Tobit, and we're going to read Tobit chapter 8. We're just going to jump down a few verses there, right? Tobit chapter 8 and verse 5 here. Yeah, let's go Tobit chapter 8 and verse. We're going to get straight to the point. Let's read verse 6 and 7. Thou madest Adam and gavest him Eve, his wife, for an helper and stay. Of them came mankind. Thou hast said, it is not good that man should be alone. Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself. And now, O Lord, I take not this my sister for lust, but uprightly. Therefore mercifully ordain that we may become aged together. So you cannot love your people and marry outside your people, because the person you choose to spend your life, the rest of your life with, to become aged together, you went outside of that. God says you hate your people. That's thus saith the Lord. And I completely 100% agree with that. I don't need your damn help. Marry the, I don't want it. I don't want it. Let the Lord's will be done. Can't trust you. Going back to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3 says, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. It says, thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Right? For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. Why are they going to turn you away from God? Because they are strange people to the Lord. They're not the children of God. They can't come into this. So if they can't come into this, what are they going to naturally do? Let's go over here to Christianity where they accept everything. Come on over here. This is right. This is right for me and your interracial sin. It ain't even a marriage. I'll let you know that now. It is not a marriage. It is interracial sin, and Christianity accepts it. You can do that right over there. That's why they'll turn you away from your God. Verse 5. Move it on here. Verse 5 says, but thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars and break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. For thou art an holy people. This is one of the all the scriptures of the Most High great. This is reigning for us. This reigns in our minds and our spirits. One of the most uplifting scriptures that you could ever read. Make sure this is etched into your kids, your sons and daughters' brain. From the moment they begin to read, they should be learning how to read Deuteronomy 7 and 6 until it's implanted into their spirit. This is how they walk. This is how they talk. This is how they carry themselves. Remember, the mind controls the body. So what goes into that mind comes out of the body. Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Music to my ears right there. Why you got to implant this? Let's go to Proverbs. Let's go to Proverbs 23. And let's read verse 7. You got to implant this in your kids' brains. You need to implant this in your brain also, so you can begin to carry yourself different. Proverbs 23 verse 7. For as he thinketh in his heart, which is the mind. The heart is the mind. So is he. That's what I said. What goes into the mind will come out through the body. Proverbs 23 and 7, it says, what as you think, so will you carry yourself. So will you be. That Deuteronomy 7 and 6 will keep you from dabbling into the affairs of this world when it comes to their fashion, their hairstyle, keeping up with the Joneses, all of that stuff. No, we're not doing those things. I don't do those things. I am above all people. I'm not following their ways. I'm not following the trends. Whatever I like at the moment and how I feel is how I'm going to be. But I'm not going to be changing around just to keep up with the ways of this world, which a lot of people do, especially even in this truth. I tell you, I get so damn tired of these those challenges. Israel, stop it. Damn it. Change, you flip-flop with the word. Every time a new challenge come out, there you go. You right along with it. But God says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. That means you got to carry yourself different. You got to walk different. They got to see that speciality that God put on you, that made you above everybody, in your actions. Can't be like everybody else. Thus saith the Lord. Verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. It was only what? It was only 75 of us, because the other brothers wasn't married. So it was 75. You read in some places it was 70. That's when they first went in, right? There was only 70 of us. We were few. Wasn't that many of us that had came out of the loins of Jacob. That's what I'm referring to, all right? You can read that in Genesis. But because the Lord loved you. So God just loved us. He ain't got to have a reason. He just loved us. And we shouldn't apologize for that. Verse 8. But because the Lord loved you, And because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondman, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. That was Ramses, right? Let's do we got that? Let's prove that real quick for those that may not know that, who we came out from under. Where is it at here? Leviticus. Right, is that what I want? Maybe I think it's in Numbers. Bear with me. I ain't read it in a minute. Pages all stuck together. All right. Here we go. Let me find it here, y'all. Let me look here. I forgot where it is. Isn't that wrong? Okay, here we go. Numbers 33 and 3. I knew what the hell it was. Numbers 33, verse 3. And they departed from Ramesses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month. On the morrow after the Passover, the children of Israel went out with a high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians. So we came out from under Ramses, all right? Ramesses, however you want to say it, okay? Let me put this up here for y'all. All right. Going back to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 9. Know therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations, and repayeth them that hate him to their face to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him. He will repay him to his face. Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which I command thee this day to do them. What are we reading right here? This is 1 John 5 and 3 in the New Testament. Let's go to it. 1 John chapter 5 verse 3. 1 John chapter 5 verse 3. We'll read 2 and 3. 1 John 5, 2 and 3. Let me put this up here. I'm amazed. I can't believe. I don't know why the heck I can't see your comments, but or if somebody's even scribing. 1 John chapter 5 verse 2. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. So that's how you love God. So the opposite of how you show God with your actions of how you hate him, go back to Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 10. It says, and repayeth them that hate him to their face to destroy them. He will not be slack in him that hateth him. He will repay him to his face. So what does Moses tell you? In order not to hate God, do what? Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which I command thee this day to do them. So God, even in the Old Testament, from the jump, it's always been loving God, keep the commandments. If you don't, you show you hate me. And then I got judgment for you. Verse 12, wherefore it shall come to pass, if ye hearken to these judgments and keep and do them, that the Lord thy God shall keep unto thee the covenant and the mercy which he sware unto thy fathers. And he will love thee and bless thee and multiply thee. He will also bless the fruit of thy womb, and the fruit of thy land, thy corn and thy wine and thine oil, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep, in the land which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee. Thou shalt be blessed above all people. This goes back to what? Deuteronomy 7 and 6. There shall not be male or female barren among you, or among your cattle. And the Lord will take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt which thou knowest upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee. That still reigns true today. Keep the commandments, the Lord will keep you from the diseases in modern day Egypt. Okay? And if you do happen to catch it, what do he do? He'll revive you, bring you back to your health. All right. Verse 16. And thou shalt consume all the people which the Lord thy God shall deliver thee. Thine eye shall have no pity upon them, neither shalt thou serve their gods, for that will be a snare unto thee. Those days are going to come back. Those days are coming back when Christ returns. Verse 17, if thou shalt say in thine heart, those nations are more than I, how can I dispossess them? Thou shalt not be afraid of them, but shalt well remember what the Lord thy God did unto Pharaoh and unto all Egypt. The great temptations which thine eyes saw, and the signs and the wonders, and the mighty hand, and the stretched out arm, whereby the Lord thy God brought thee out, so shall the Lord thy God do unto all the people whom thou art afraid. Moreover, the Lord thy God will send the hornet among them, until they that are left and hide themselves from thee be destroyed. Thou shalt not be affrighted at them, for the Lord thy God is among you, a mighty God and terrible. And the Lord thy God will put out those nations before thee by little and little. Thou mayest not consume them at once, lest the beast of the field increase upon thee. But the Lord thy God shall deliver them unto thee, and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction until they be destroyed. And he shall deliver their kings into thy hand, and thou shalt destroy their name from under heaven. No way you can read Deuteronomy chapter 7 and be like, God love everybody. No way. You drunk. You drunk on Christianity. You read that. As much as he's over here talking about subduing, getting rid of, running them out, no way you can believe that. You stupid drunk on Christianity. Just by reading Deuteronomy 7. Let's read that again. Verse 24. And he shall deliver their kings into thine hand, and thou shalt destroy their name from under heaven. There shall no man be able to stand before thee until thou have destroyed them. Here's a good precept right here. Verse 25. The graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire. Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein. For it is an abomination to the Lord thy God. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house, lest thou be a cursed thing like it. But thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing. Well, we can bring it up to today with these daggone Jesus pieces, these crosses, these unks that Negroes love to wear, even the rosary beads that Northern Kingdom in Catholicism like to wrap around their neck and pray with it, rubbing the beads and stuff. The Lord said, you will be an abomination and a cursed thing just like it. And verse 26, what's the main thing we bring into our house? You know I won't. Jeremiah chapter 10. It's the main thing we bring into our house. Jeremiah chapter 10, 1 through 5. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Talking to us once again throughout the whole Bible. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. That's what we're reading about in Deuteronomy, the ways of the heathen, the accursed thing, the idols, the silver and the gold that be on them. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. All the stargazing, oh, we got a planet Mars is habitat is a habitable planet. We found another place like Earth. Send space stations out there and send probes to the planet, start a colony, all of that. The Lord said, don't be dismayed at that stuff. Verse 3, for the customs, meaning the traditions of the people are vain. Now he describes the tradition, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree. Now you use the what? The evergreen tree. And you celebrate Christmas. And what do? We bring it into our house and we deck it with silver and with gold. After they cut it out the tree, if you got out the forest, if you got enough money. Most Negroes going to Walmart now getting a fake tree. But that is one of the abominations that we should not bring into our house, along with many of their idols. All right, going back now. That was Jeremiah, right? 10, 1 through 5 equals Christmas. This is for those that may not have it. All right. Now let's go back to Deuteronomy and let's read chapter 8, and we're going to start at verse 1. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 1. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply, and go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers. This is why we got to vacate and run from Christianity as fast as possible. Not no cold turkey. You know what bothers me when we be teaching on the street and they find out about the truth. Oh, I'm just doing my research. How long you been researching? Oh, 5 months. Dude, you know damn well Christianity's a lie. You know damn well Islam's a lie. If you compare this with those man-made religions, you know damn well that's a lie. You know damn well that's a lie. They ain't teaching no commandments out there. We dying by the hundreds, by the thousands on a day, oppressed forever. You know it ain't no truth, and you still doing your research. You should have been ran to this and been able to keep the commandments and start keeping the commandments. Why? Because this is your life. You see, everything else brings death to us. Christianity is telling you not to keep the commandments. Our people are dying. God says keep the commandments and you're going to live. But you be doing 5, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years worth of research. You ain't fooling nobody. Your ass is in the midst of sin. It's crazy. Give me that. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 7. About those commandments giving us life, right? Proverbs chapter 7, and let's read verse 2. It says, keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye. It's been the way of the same since days of old. The commandments give you life. Times of Solomon, commandments give you life. Today, the commandments give you life. The commandments are forever. So that's why they give you life, which will ultimately lead to eternal life. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 8. Let's go back to it, verse 1. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers. And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the Lord, that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord doth man live. We say this all the time to Christians. Christ was not right in the book of Matthew when he was walking around in Jerusalem. He was not right in the book of John, Mark, Luke. So he was pulling from the old covenant. That's why when you read, you'll see things that we see in the New Testament, because Christ is just pulling from what he learned, thus letting you know that nothing has been done away with, because if it was, he wouldn't have been quoting stuff from something that was done away with. Okay, so the reason why we go through trials and tribulations here in the flesh is the Lord proving us through different things. And one thing about the Lord proving us to whether we would keep his law or no in tough situations, whether you have lost a spouse, you've lost family, they've separated themselves from you, you might have lost a job, you might have strife with friends, whatever it might be. It is all to prove you whether you're going to keep the commandments of God or no. Now let's read 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13. 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13. It says here, there have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. Meaning what? We all go through temptations. We all are getting proved before God. It says here, but God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. Far too many times we tuck and run when God is proving us in that moment, no matter how long it might be. And that's on the Lord. But he is what he is doing is he is proving us, and he's not giving us something that we are not able to overcome. But we don't, a lot of us don't endure through it to prove to the Lord that we are dedicated to him and to keeping his laws and obeying him and loving him. We flee when the hard times come, especially many of you women. Especially many of you women. I have noticed now here lately, y'all, if you paid attention, you saw my class about the wicked women. A lot of you women who are the weaker vessel, this coronavirus hit and took away that school from you going every week because you was damn near forced because you with your husband. Now you don't have to go. That old woman in you is creeping back up to the point you don't want to go back to the school. You have no sense of urgency to do it, and you're separating from your husband. You're going back to your mama and them, going back living with your father and them. This is the perfect segue for you non-believers to go back into the vomit that you came out of. But that's the Lord proving you. A lot of you failing. A lot of people are failing. Fornication, adultery, whatever it might be, failing during these times. And we got to stay strong because God said through the Spirit of Christ, God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. That's what the Lord is doing. That's what God's doing now through Iuic. 4 chapters a day. You've got radio shows all throughout the week. You've got Friday lineup. You've got the Sabbath. Then turn around back on Sunday, the first day of the week. You right back to radio shows. The Lord, and you got daily bread every day in the morning. The Lord is giving you a way to bear the temptations that you are in. You just got to prove to the Lord that you are going to endure it, that you love him, and persevere through it. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 8, and let's read verse 3 again. And he humbled thee, and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord doth man live. Thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. Thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so the Lord thy God chasteneth thee. What does that mean? You do wrong, you get punished. That's a father, that's a son. That's a father, that's a daughter. That's how you raise kids. You don't let them go off and do what they want to. You're more experienced in life. You know what's right. You know what's wrong. Who's more experienced than the Most High, who is the damn Ancient of Days. The time is not even an essence to him. There's no way we can tell God through our actions, we know what's right for us, you don't. You crazy. You absolutely crazy to think that thought. So the Lord does what? Thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so the Lord thy God chasteneth thee. And that's for what reason? Hebrews. Go to the book of Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 12, and let's read verse 6. Hebrews 12, and let's read 6 through 9. 6 through 8. All right. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. Now you understand why Esau ain't got his judgment like we have. He's not the sons of God. They are not the people of God. He's not worried about them. Let them do whatever the hell they want to. But my people, oh, you want to sell drugs? You want to sell cocaine in a hard form? I'm going to give you 10 for every rock you got. Oh, Lord, I'm doing it. The white man doing it. They not my kids. I'm not worried about them. You can't do what they do. When we get that in our head, we'll be in a lot better situation as a people. Jump down to verse 11. It says, now no chastening for the present seem to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. So through those hard times of chastening, you continue to keep the commandments of God. And what does it do? It increases the fruit, it increases your spirit, it increases wisdom in you. All right, as you go along. But if you every time the challenge comes, you fail, you revert back to the old you, you're doing yourself a disservice. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 5. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 5. Amazing. Why is this? Let's see something. Okay. Okay. It says here, thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so the Lord thy God chasteneth thee, because he loves us. It says, therefore shalt thou keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways and to fear him. For the Lord thy God. Now, if you don't have this, you've always wondered, what's a precept for the land of milk and honey? How do you describe it? Here's your precept that I've got. You can learn how to describe the land of milk and honey. Verse 7 through 9 is how you explain it. For the Lord thy God bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains and depths, that spring out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of oil, olive, and honey, a land wherein thou shalt eat bread without scarceness, thou shalt not lack anything in it, a land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass. So, Deuteronomy, this is what I use. You can use it too if you want to, you know. Chapter 8, Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 7 through 9. is a precept for land of milk and honey. Okay. All right. Let's go to Ezekiel. Let's show you something. So right now, it is not a land of milk and honey. And you hear the bishop say all the time, and brothers have been, that place is desolate. It is a land of deserts, desert places. A lot of their stuff is imported. Let's see here where I want to start at. Ezekiel chapter 36. Let's start at verse. We got time, so let's start at verse 29. Ezekiel chapter, where am I? 36. 29 through 36. All right. It says here, it's amazing. I will also save you from all your uncleanness, and I will call for the corn, and I will increase it, and lay no famine upon you, and I will multiply the fruit of the tree, and in the increase of the field, that ye shall receive no more reproach of famine among the heathen. Then shall you remember your own evil ways and your doings that were not good, and shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for your iniquities and for your abominations. Now, when I read that, I was like, damn, that was a true book. Once I learned the law and then all the wickedness that I had done, I was like, man, I'm a terrible ass person. I am a terrible person. I've been doing this, that, and the other. I loathe myself. And I was like, I got to change. I'm changing. What I read, I'm applying. And it says, and shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for your iniquities and your abominations. God said, look, when you find out who you are, you come to the understanding, watch, you ain't even gonna like yourself to see when you see how wicked you truly are. I was like, man, that hit me. I was like, dang, that's true. He's right about that. The Lord is. Let's read on. Verse 32. Not for your sakes do I this, saith the Lord God. Be it known unto you, be ashamed and confounded for your own ways, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord God, in the day that I shall have cleansed you from all your iniquities, I will also cause you to dwell in the cities, and the waste shall be builded, and the desolate land shall be tilled. It's desolate right now. This prophecy is real. It's desolate. And desolate land shall be tilled, whereas it lay desolate in the sight of all that passed by. And they shall say, this land was desolate, is become like the Garden of Eden. And the waste and desolate and ruined cities are become fenced and are inhabited. Then the heathen that are left round about you shall know that I, the Lord, build the ruined places and plant that was desolate. I, the Lord, have spoken it, and I will do it. Oh, man. Lord said, I'm going to do it. The Lord has spoken. So, going back to Deuteronomy now. So, we read about that Deuteronomy 8, 7 through 9, describing the land of milk and honey. God says, I'm going to return it back to its original form, like it used to look in the Garden of Eden. So that lets you know the Garden of Eden is where? Jerusalem. That's a precept right there. The Garden of Eden is Jerusalem, is Israel, the land of milk and honey. Okay, let's go back. Now we back in Deuteronomy. Let me write this up here. Deuteronomy chapter 8, and we're going to pick up at verse 10, all right? Deuteronomy 8, 10 through We moving on. All right. It says here, when thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt bless the Lord thy God for the good land which he hath given thee. Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes which I command thee this day. Just think about this, y'all. Look how amazingly stupid Christianity is. The doctrine by itself. It's witchcraft. Look at this, y'all. We have an entire book, especially the Old Covenant, that tells you keep the commandments, keep the commandments, keep the commandments, keep the commandments. You better keep these commandments. You better keep these commandments. Keep these commandments. Christ says keep the commandments. Keep the commandments. I didn't come to do away with the commandments. You better keep these commandments. And then Christianity says, you know what? We're not going to read none of that. Just read the letters of Paul and do away with the commandments. You know how crazy that is? That is some strong witchcraft to make you believe not what the Bible says. The Bible says keep the commandments. You say we don't have to keep the commandments. Christianity is a hell of a drug. That is Satan. That is Satan's playground right there. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 8. Let's read verse 11. Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. So that's how we remember God, keeping the commandments. You don't keep the commandments, you forget God. No wonder none of our family don't know God. You been forgot about him. You don't keep no laws. It goes hand in hand. Verse 12. Lest when thou hast eaten and art full and hast built goodly houses and dwelt therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget the Lord thy God, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, who led thee through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein that were fiery serpents, as in Numbers 21, and scorpions and drought, where there was no water, who brought thee forth water out of the rock of flint, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, and that he might prove thee to do thee good at thy latter end. And thou say in thy heart, look at this, listen to this. This is Christianity. You want Christianity wrapped up in a few scriptures? Here is Christianity wrapped up in a few scriptures in the Bible. Here you go, watch this. Verse 17. And thou say in thine heart, my power and the might of my hand hath gotten me this wealth. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, and giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day. Christianity forgets God, don't keep no commandments, and be like, look what we've done. This is all we've done right here. This is us right here. Look at this. Look at all this done. Look what we have done right here. This, that, and the other. Look at me getting this job. You forgot God. You forgot to keep the commandments, so that wasn't God giving you none of that power to do that. Who has been blessing everybody that does not keep the commandments? Go to the book of Luke. The book of Luke explains it. Who's giving you everything that you have desired when you don't keep the commandments? Because the show wasn't God. God just said, you don't keep the commandments, you forget me. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Luke chapter 4, and let's read verse 5. And the devil taking him up into an high mountain showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, all this power. What did it just say in Deuteronomy? In Deuteronomy it says that your mind tells you that my power has given me these things. You don't keep no commandments, but your mind will tell you, my power gave me all these things. And yet, I've worked hard for this. What did Satan say to Christ? And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them. For that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will give it. But what's the stipulation? If thou therefore will worship me, all shall be thine. Christianity is worshiping Satan. Christianity is the playground of Satan. Everybody that wants you want power and you want fame, you want money in this world, and you don't want to have to obey God to get it. Come on, come ye as ye are. Dang! Satan says, come ye as ye are, I will give you all that you desire. Come ye as ye are. Go back to Deuteronomy chapter 8. Let's read it. Let's read it again. I'm going to read verse 11, and then I'm going to jump down to verse 17, 18. Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. Verse 17. And thou say in thine heart, my power and the might of my hand hath gotten me this wealth. Dang. Y'all better share this with your family. Those precepts right there, you better share it with your family and let them know Satan is giving you everything you want. Oh, man, you got to pay the piper when you meet Christ. Verse 18, but thou shalt remember that the Lord thy God, remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers as it is this day. Go to Jeremiah chapter 11 real quick, another precept. Jeremiah chapter 11, to show you how much we are connected to God in this fleshly body that we got. This is how much we are connected to God. Jeremiah chapter 13. Jeremiah 13, verse 11. Let's read that. It says here, for as the girdle cleaveth to the loins of a man, your boxers, how they they snug on you. So have I caused to cleave unto me the whole house of Israel, Hispanics, Native Indians, and the whole house of Judah, African Americans, Haitians, Jamaicans, Caribbean islands, the house of Judah, saith the Lord, that they might be unto me for a people, and for a name, and for a praise, and for a glory. But they would not hear. They went to Christianity. Their life is in me. They cleave to me like a girdle cleaveth to a man's loin. I am their life. I am their every breath, their every blink of their eye is by the mercy of me. But they wouldn't hear it. They follow Satan into Christianity, into Islam, into Buddhism, into atheism, and they actually think that's me giving them those things. Dang, wow. Going back to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 8, and let's read verse 19. It says here, and it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Lord thy God, and walk after other gods, religions, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you this day that ye shall surely perish. Now you know why black people die. Now you know why Hispanics die. Now you know why Native Indians got conquered. I testify against you this day that ye shall perish, surely perish. As without a doubt you've gone. Verse 20, as the nations which the Lord destroyeth before your face, as the nations which the Lord destroyed before your face. God does not love everybody. So shall ye perish, because ye would not be obedient unto the voice of the Lord your God. That's why we died. We're not obedient. We will not do thou shalt. We want to do thou shalt not. That's what we found ourselves doing. Therefore we perish, because we are not obedient. Deuteronomy chapter 9. Deuteronomy chapter 9. Hear, O Israel. Shema Yasha Allah, Allah Nawa Yahweh Akkad. That's Hear, O Israel. It's in the corrupted Hebrew I learned. Deuteronomy chapter 9, verse 1. Hear, O Israel, thou art to pass over Jordan this day, to go in to possess nations greater and mightier than thyself, cities greater and fenced up to heaven, a people great and tall, the children of the Anakims, to whom thou knowest, and of whom thou hast heard say, who can stand before the children of Anak? They are Hamites. Don't ask me who they are. They over there somewhere scattered in where they are now, in the land of Ham. We over there too, and they are too. All right, so don't ask me who are they? What nation are they now? The Lord ain't told us. Verse 3. Understand therefore this day that the Lord thy God is he which goeth over before thee as a consuming fire. He shall destroy them, and he shall bring them down before thy face. So shalt thou drive them out and destroy them quickly, as the Lord hath said unto thee. Speak not thou now. Here goes more Christianity. More Christianity. Speak not thou in thine heart, after that the Lord thy God hath cast them out from before thee, saying, for my righteousness the Lord hath brought me in to possess this land. But for the wickedness of these nations the Lord doth drive them out from before thee. Not for thy righteousness or the uprightness of thine heart dost thou go to possess their land, but for the wickedness of these nations the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee, and that he may perform the word which the Lord sware unto thy fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Understand therefore that the Lord thy God giveth thee not this good land to possess it for thy righteousness, for thou art a stiff-necked people. So our people don't understand that the only reason that they even got a roof over their head, they got food in their stomach to this day, right now, is because it's the Lord having mercy because of his righteousness on us. Right? It's because of him that we are able to survive every single day. All right? Because we are stiff-necked people. Verse 7. Remember and forget not how thou provokest the Lord thy God to wrath in the wilderness, from the day that thou didst depart out of the land of Egypt, until ye came unto this place. Ye have been rebellious against the Lord. Also in Horeb ye provoked the Lord to wrath, so that the Lord was angry with you to have destroyed you, when I was gone up unto the mount into the mount to receive the tables of stone. Indeed, even the word even means indeed. I just say indeed in my mind. Even the tables of the covenant which the Lord made with you. Then I abode in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. I neither did eat bread nor drink water. So you see, he got the tables of stone, and he stayed there for 40 days. What was he doing? He was getting the understanding of the beginning of times, the midst of times, and the end of times while he was up there for those 40 days. Here's the proof. If you got the Apocrypha, I know some of y'all may be new or just watching, coming in, and haven't gotten it yet. 2nd Ezra 14. 2nd Ezra chapter 14, and we're going to read 1 through 6 to show you why Moses was up on the mount for 40 days and 40 nights. Okay, 2nd Ezra 14, and we're going to start at verse 1 through 6. All right, it says here, And it came to pass upon the third day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against me, and said, Esdras, Esdras. And I said, Here am I, Lord. And I stood upon my feet. I stood up upon my feet. Then said he unto me, In the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talked with him when my people served in Egypt. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt, and brought him up to the mount of Sinai, where I held him by me a long season. That's those 40 days. And told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times and the end, and commanded him, saying, These words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide. So that's why you've got what? Genesis 49 is hard to understand. Deuteronomy 33 is hard to understand. Deuteronomy 32 is hard to understand. Some things he wrote hard, hide, right in plain view, and some things are easy to understand, like keep the commandments if you love me. Very easy, okay? So let's go back to Deuteronomy. We back to Deuteronomy chapter 9, and we're going to pick up at verse 10. And the Lord delivered unto me 2 tables of stone written with the finger of God. You hear that? It says it was written with the finger of God. God took his time to write down that stuff. And the Lord delivered unto me 2 tables of stone written with the finger of God. And on them was written according to all the words which the Lord spake with you in the mount out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. That was the 10 commandments. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days and 40 nights that the Lord gave me the 2 tables of stone, even the tables of the covenant. And the Lord said unto me, Arise, get thee down quickly from hence, for thy people which thou hast brought forth out of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They are quickly turned aside. Out of the way which I commanded them, they have made them a molten image. What was that? That was the cow that was Hathor. You can look that up yourself. That was the goddess Hathor. It was a cow. Calf. Verse 13. Furthermore, the Lord spake unto me, saying, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Let me alone that I may destroy them and blot out their name from under heaven. And I will make of thee a nation mightier and greater than they. So what has religion done? Religion has tried to remove the fierceness and the wrath and the austereness of God and take that out of the way and push white Jesus on us. Therefore, what has happened? Give me that in Romans 3:18. This is what has happened through the process of time of them removing God. Even in the church, they removed God from the Bible and pushed white Jesus in front of us. And this is what happened. Romans chapter 3, verse 18. Yep. Romans chapter 3, verse 18. Let me write it down here for you. It says, there is no fear of God before their eyes. That's what's happened. Religion has removed the fear and the severity and the austerity of God from us and pushed an effeminate white Jesus in front of us that loves everybody and you can do no wrong and all you got to do is repent right before you die and you get forgiveness. Right as soon as you die, as long as your last words are, you ain't kept no commandments and your last words are, God forgive me. Oh, he was saved. Oh, he was saved. Oh, he repented before he died. That's what religion has done to us. It has taken the fear of God out of our eyes, before our eyes, and we are suffering from the lack of fear of God. throughout all our major cities of where we at, where we are on the other side of the earth in Africa, where we are in Europe. We are suffering in the Caribbeans because we lack the fear of God before our eyes. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 9 and verse 14 to show you that God did not play. He didn't play about this, and he still don't. He ain't changed. He's the Lord. He changed not. All right? He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. That's Christ, and he's the same way as his Father. Deuteronomy chapter 9 verse 14. It says, let me alone that I may destroy them and blot out their name from under heaven. He was about to go back to the days of the flood real quick. That when it comes to the Most High, that mercy is he's life, death. Do what I told you to do. I didn't give you enough mercy up to this point, but when judgment's finna come, life, death. Move, Moses. It says, verse 14, let me alone that I may destroy them and blot out their name from under heaven, and I will make of thee a nation mightier and greater than they. Just like that. Lord, so I'm ready to start over. Why? Time don't mean nothing to me. I'll take just you, and we can wait another millennial, however many years it was since the times of Adam to build back up. Time is nothing to the Most High. Verse 15. So I turned and came down from the mount, and the mount burned with fire, and the two tables of the covenant were in my 2 hands. And I looked, and behold, ye had sinned against the Lord your God, and had made you a molten calf. Ye had turned aside quickly out of the way, which the Lord had commanded you. That's what he was talking about earlier. He proved you. He let you go through some tough times to see if you was going to endure and keep the laws. But many of us quickly turn out of the way. Can't do that. We've got to keep the faith, endure to the end, apply the scriptures so we can receive the kingdom of heaven, that eternal peace. But you've got to rehearse the righteous acts right now. You've got to be proved right now and not turn aside so quickly and go back to your old ways like our ancestors did. I'm going to read it again here. It says, verse 16, and I looked, and behold, ye had sinned against the Lord your God, and had made you a molten calf. Ye had turned aside quickly out of the way which the Lord had commanded you. You went right back to your old ways. Just like that. Somebody left you alone for a minute, you went right back to your old ways. Sisters, check yourself. Brothers, check yourself. Verse 17, and I took the 2 tables and cast them out of my 2 hands and brake them before your eyes. And I fell down before the Lord as at the first 40 days and 40 nights. So what are we looking at? Moses, he did it already once, fasted 40 days. 2 times he fasted 40 days. We're going to read it. And I fell down before the Lord at first 40 days and 40 nights. And I did 40 nights. I did neither eat bread nor drink water because of all your sins which ye have sinned in doing wickedly in the sight of the Lord to provoke him. To provoke him to anger. For I was afraid of the anger and hot displeasure wherewith the Lord was wroth against you to destroy you. But the Lord hearkened unto me at that time also. And the Lord was very angry with Aaron to have destroyed him. And I prayed for Aaron also the same time. The Lord in the Deuteronomy, you'll read it, where it says nobody was like Moses. There hadn't been another prophet like Moses. The Lord prayed. He prayed for the people. The Lord listened. He didn't destroy him because he's ready to wipe him out. He prayed for Aaron. He was ready to kill Aaron. The Lord hearkened to Moses too. Moses was a mighty, great man in the Bible. Verse 21, and I took your sin, the calf which ye had made, and burnt it with fire, and stamped it, and ground it very small, even until it was as small as dust. And I cast the dust thereof into the brook that descended out of the mount, and at Taberah, and at Massah, and at Kibroth Hatavah, ye provoked the Lord to wrath. Likewise, when the Lord sent you to Kadesh Barnea, saying, go up and possess the land which I have given you, then ye rebelled against the commandment of the Lord your God, and ye believed him not, nor hearkened to his voice. Ye have been rebellious against the Lord from the day that I knew you. Moses is mad, boy. Moses is mad. Moses is calling us out for real talk. Moses called y'all. He said, dude, y'all, real talk, y'all. Y'all have been rebellious against the Lord from the day that I knew you. You ain't been nothing. I can imagine what that sounded like when Moses really said that, coming out of his mouth. Y'all been rebellious since the damn day we came out of Egypt against the Lord. You just can't get right. Verse 25. Thus I fell down before the Lord 40 days and 40 nights as I fell down at the first, because the Lord has said he would destroy you. Moses fasted again another 40 days and 40 nights. I prayed therefore unto the Lord and said, O Lord God, destroy not thy people and thine inheritance which thou hast purchased, or which thou hast redeemed through thy greatness, which thou hast brought forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Remember thy servants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Look not unto the stubbornness of this people, nor to their wickedness, nor to their sin, lest the land whence thou broughtest us out say, because the Lord was not able to bring them into the land which he promised them, and because he hated them, he hath brought them out to slay them in the wilderness. Yet they are thy people and thy inheritance, which thou broughtest out by thy mighty power and by thy stretched out arm. Check this out. Precept. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. Let's go to 2nd Ezra and let's read chapter 8. Let me put this up here. 2nd Ezra chapter 8, and we're going to read verse 26 through 39. We're going to read it real quick. All right. 2nd Ezra chapter 8, verse 26. It says here, oh, look not upon the... Now, the reason I'm going here is because Ezra prayed the same prayer as Moses did for the children of Israel. That's why we're going here, so you can precept these two things together. Ezra prayed the same way for Moses. 2nd Ezra chapter 8, verse 26. I'm for Israel, not for Moses. Oh, look not upon the sins of thy people, but on them which serve thee in truth. Regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen, but the desire of those that keep thy testimonies in afflictions. Think not upon those that have walked vainly before thee, but remember them which according to thy will have known thy fears. So Moses is like, don't pay attention to those that faking it. They out here faking it, thinking they're going to make it. Don't even worry about them, Lord. They'll remove themselves. For all those out there that's faking it, Lord ain't even worried about you. Verse 29. Let it not be thy will to destroy them which have lived like beasts. When we're in the midst of sin, what we doing? We living like beasts. But to look upon them that have clearly taught thy law. Take thou no indignation at them which are deemed worse than beasts. Because the beast, you know why the beast is we worse than beasts when you're in the midst of sin? Beasts react on instinct. They are programmed to be the way that they are. We are consciously making a decision to go against God and his laws and show we hate him. That you got a mind to think. So that lets you know you are worse than a beast. It says, which are deemed worse than beasts, but love them that always put their trust in thy righteousness and glory. For we and our fathers do languish of such diseases, but because of us sinners thou shalt be called merciful. For if thou hast desire to have mercy upon us, thou shalt be called merciful to us, namely, that have no works of righteousness. For the just, which have many good works laid up with thee, shall out of their own deeds receive reward. For what is man that thou shouldest take displeasure at him? Or what is a corruptible generation that thou shouldest be so bitter toward it? For in truth there is no man among them that be born, but he that have dealt wickedly, and among the faithful there is none which have not done amiss. We all wrong is what he's saying, right? For in this, O Lord, thy righteousness and thy goodness shall be declared. If thou be merciful unto them which have not the confidence of good works. Then answered he me and said, some things hast thou spoken aright, and according unto thy words it shall be. For indeed I will not think on the disposition of them which have sinned before death, before judgment, before destruction. He's going to reserve him to the end, is what God said. I'm going to reserve him to the end. I'm not worried about it. I'll just reserve him to the end. Verse 39, but I will rejoice over the disposition of the righteous, and I will remember also their pilgrimage, and the salvation, and the reward that they shall have. So Ezra prayed for the people the same way Moses did, all right? Let's go back to Deuteronomy. All right, we in Deuteronomy chapter 9, and let's pick up at verse Deuteronomy 10. We'll pick up Deuteronomy 10 because we read it, right? I don't want to go back and read. Deuteronomy chapter 10, and let's pick it up at verse 1. Last chapter here. It says, at that time the Lord had said unto me, hew thee 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and come up unto me into the mount, and make thee an ark of wood. And I will write on the tables the words that were in the first tables which thou breakest, and thou shalt put them in the ark. And I made an ark of shittim wood, and hewed 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and went up into the mount, having the 2 tables in my hand. And he wrote on the tables. That's why that law is so important. The Lord wrote those. We see, we read it 2 times, right? Back in Deuteronomy 9 verse 10, it says, and the Lord delivered unto me 2 tables of stone written with the finger of God. Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 4, and he wrote on the tables. God wrote that. That's why you when you break it, you got a judgment to come if you do not repent. We have to repent and keep the commandments and be blameless before the Lord when he returns. Verse 4 again. And he wrote on the tables, according to the first writing, the 10 commandments, which the Lord spake unto you in the mount out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. And the Lord gave them unto me. Lord gave me these commandments. You break those commandments. They made the law of Moses. They made the commandments of Moses. Those are the laws of God. I got those from him. Precept, verse 5. And I turned myself and came down from the mount, and put the tables in the ark which I had made. And there they be, as the Lord commanded me. And the children of Israel took their journey from Beeroth, of the children of Jachan, to Mosera. There Aaron died, and there he was buried. And Eleazar his son ministered in the priest's office in his stead. From this they journeyed unto Gudgoda, and from Gudgoda unto Jotbath, a land of rivers of waters. At that time the Lord separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, to stand before the Lord to minister unto him, and to bless in his name unto this day. Wherefore Levi have no part nor inheritance with his brethren. The Lord is his inheritance, according as the Lord thy God promised him. So just look quick, we got time. Now you understand why Levi, at one point, I don't know if they still are, but was the poorest island in the Western Hemisphere. And they still catching hell to this day because the Lord was their provider. All they had to do was to teach Israel the commandments of God, but they left off from that, and the Lord gave them a swift and mighty judgment. That's how we know Levi is Levi. Let's go to that in the book of Micah. Let's go to the book of Micah and see what it says about Levi's judgment for not doing what they were called to do. Let's read Micah chapter, where I want to start at. Let's see. No more Micah? No. Malachi. The M's. Malachi. That's what I want. Malachi. Malachi chapter 2. And we are going to pick up at verse 6. Malachi chapter 2 verse 6, it says, the law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in peace and equity, and did turn many away from iniquity. Talking about Levi. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. But ye are departed out of the way. Ye have caused many to stumble at the law. Ye have corrupted the covenant of Levi, which was what? To teach his brothers the law, to be a mediator before God and the people. It says, but ye are departed out of the way, ye have caused many to stumble at the law, ye have corrupted the covenant of Levi. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, therefore have I also made you contemptible and base, disliked and impoverished. Right? A lot of Levites from Florida, they understand that. When they hear that, they understand that. Ask a Levite from Florida the relations between Judah and Levi back in the day. Down here, or just all people also here in Florida. And they'll tell you about it. It says, therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all people, according as ye have not kept my ways, but have been partial in the law. Going back now to Deuteronomy chapter 10. So now we understand why the Lord is punishing Levi like he does, specifically in the land of Haiti, because Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 9. Let's read that again. It says here, wherefore Levi hath no part, no inheritance with his brethren. The Lord is his inheritance, according as the Lord thy God promised him. The Levi ate how? Through the sacrifices that the Lord set up, that the people brought in. The Levites, they lived in castles in the suburbs. Why? Because the Lord set it up that they would sacrifice throughout all the 12 tribes of Israel in different areas, and they would live in the best areas, which were called suburbs. We'll read that as we get further in Chronicles and things of that nature. They was called suburbs. They lived in castles. They lived good because the Lord took care of them. But they corrupted the covenant of Levi and stopped teaching the law. They were partial in it. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 10. And I stayed in the mount according to the first time, 40 days and 40 nights, and the Lord hearkened unto me at that time also, and the Lord would not destroy thee. And the Lord said unto me, Arise, take thy journey before the people, that they may go in and possess the land, which I swear unto their fathers to give unto them. And now, Israel, one of my favorite scripts too right here. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee? What is your purpose in life is what God is about to tell us. What is your requirements in the body that I gave you? What do you need to do to please me as the children of Israel? What are my stipulations? Let's see what he say. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. To keep the commandments of God, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. That's how you love God. That's how you serve God with all your heart and with all your soul. It all boils down to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. That's how you do all of it. That is how we show God we love him. Until the day we turn back into the dirt from which we came, the dust from which we came, or he sends his son back to redeem us from the land of our captivity. If you want to be found loving God, loving Christ, keep the commandments. Don't just say it, put action behind it, because that's what the Lord is about. Let's go to that. 1 Samuel chapter 2. 1 Samuel chapter 2, and let's read it in verse 3. It says here, talk no more exceeding proudly. You know, that exceeding proudly is what? God love me no matter what. Me and God got a personal relationship. He know my heart. That is speaking proudly, boasting yourself above God's laws. Because God's laws say, if you love me, you'll keep the commandments. You'll say, no matter what that says, God loves me. That's speaking proudly against God. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. He know, me and God got it. He know, me and him talk all the time. That's arrogancy coming out of your mouth. For the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. That's what God is about. Action, action, action. You love me? Show me. Going back to Deuteronomy chapter 10, we're going to read verse 12 and 13 again. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. Let's go to 2 John. Here's some New Testament precepts for loving God also, right? 2 John, the letters, right? We're in the letters of John, not the Gospel of John, the letters of John. 2 John verse 6. And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment, that as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it. So it never changed from old to new. Loving God is the keeping of his commandments. That's how we show him we love him. Sister that's walking around in pants and jeans and mini skirts, how do you show you love God? You put on a dress and a modest dress. You come out of those pants. Brothers, you put on your fringes. You stop, because what I see too nowadays, brothers is dyeing their damn hair blonde. Brothers, you stop blonding your hair. You show you love God, marry that woman you with. Take care of your kids. Don't just have her as a baby mama. You know the truth that she's still your baby mama. You don't love God. Women, you want to show that you love God? Be in subjection to your husband in all things. Let your desire be unto him. If you love God, then you'll apply that. That's how you show you love God, because God told you to do those things in the first place. So when you come outside of that, there's no way you can love God. I don't care what comes out of your mouth. That's why God says, let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. Speaking proudly. He don't care what you say, because you ain't doing what he told you to do. Therefore, you can't love him. You actually hate him. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 10. And let's read verse 12 and 13 again, one more time. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes which I command thee this day for thy good. Behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens is the Lord's thy God, the earth also with all that therein is. Only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers. Only the Lord had a delight in our fathers to love them. And he chose their seed after them, even you above all people, as it is this day. Look at this. Go to, what was that? Isaiah 52. Check this out. I believe it's Isaiah 52. It might be 48. Let's see what 52 say. Okay, yep, that ain't what I want. Isaiah, wait a minute, let me see. Let me find it. It's on the right page, left column at the bottom. Hearken unto me, care about a wound. Let's see. Okay, Isaiah 41. Isaiah 41, verse 8. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 8. It reads, But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. So our forefathers was the friends of God. Abraham was a friend of God. No other nation can say that. No other nation can lay claim to that our forefather was the friend of God. Verse 9, thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth and called thee from the chief man thereof. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was the best man walking the face of the earth when he decided to make us as a nation. It says, I have taken thee from the chief man thereof and said unto thee, thou art my servant, I have chosen thee and not cast thee away. Heavy scriptures right there. We are the forefathers. Our forefather was the friend of God, and we come from the best on the face of the earth. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 15. Once again, only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you above all people, as it is this day. Verse 16, circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked. For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, a great God, a mighty and a terrible, which regardeth not persons, nor taketh reward. That's what needs to be taught in the church. That right there, of who we dealing with. The God that sits on, look at what Christ said about when he described the Most High. Let's go back to the book of Luke. We was in here earlier. Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 12. Let's read verse 4 and 5. Look what Christ said about the Most High. And that's his daddy, y'all. That he's our daddy too, but you know, Christ, he closer to daddy than we are. And this is what he said about him. It says Luke 12:4. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do. But I will forewarn you whom ye shall fear. I'm gonna tell you ahead of time. I'm gonna forewarn you. I'm gonna tell you ahead of time whom ye shall fear. Fear him, which after he hath killed, hath power to cast into hell. Yea, I say unto you, fear him. Christ wasn't playing. Christ was not playing when he warned us. I'm gonna let you know off top before you deal with him. You best make sure you walking correct when you come before the Most High. You best make sure you keeping these laws, because he can destroy the flesh and the spirit. He ain't got to bring you back. Just gone. Spirit gone. Disintegrated. Don't want nothing to do with you no more. You ain't even get a chance at life no more. And you ain't even going to dwell up here with me. Gone. This is what Christ was describing. Deuteronomy chapter 9, or Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 17. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 17. For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, a great God, a mighty and a terrible, which regardeth not persons, nor taketh reward. He doth execute the judgment of the fatherless and widow, and loveth the stranger in giving him food and raiment. Love ye therefore the stranger, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. What stranger is he talking about? Love what stranger? What's Moses prophesying about? Obadiah. I'm doing this on here for some closet Christians. Obadiah, verse, let's see where it is. Obadiah, verse 12. Obadiah, verse 12. It says here. Okay, let me write this down for y'all. It says, but thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, talking about Esau, on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of the destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of his distress. Here's another precept. Let's go back to Leviticus. It's always good to review, right? Let's go back to Leviticus in chapter 25 to get another precept to show what Moses is prophesying about. Leviticus chapter 25, and let's read verse 35. Yep, 35. It says here, and if thy brother be waxen poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him, yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. Now let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 18. Now we understand who Moses is telling you to love. Why? He's prophesying about future things to come. When the northern kingdom would be cut off and come back, he's letting us know, verse 18. He doth execute the judgment of the fatherless and widow, and loveth the stranger in giving him food and raiment. Love ye therefore the stranger, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Love them, because they're going to come back. But what do? We already know what happened. All right. Verse 20. Thou shalt fear the Lord thy God. Him shalt thou serve, and to him thou shalt cleave, and swear by his name. He is thy praise, and he is thy God, that have done for thee these great and terrible things which thine eyes have seen. Thy fathers went down into Egypt with 70 persons, and now the Lord thy God hath made thee as the stars of heaven for multitude. All right, so we'll end it on that. you know, I can't see nothing y'all right now. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. But if you got questions, like I said, write them to the IUIC classrooms, message us on there. We captains will go through and answer them first come, first serve as they come to us. Okay, so today we've read Deuteronomy chapter 7 through 10. We'll pick up tomorrow, whoever that may be. We'll pick up tomorrow, Deuteronomy chapter 11 through 14. Okay, same time, same place. All right. So Israel, with that, it's been real. I say shalom.